Hey, what's good with y'all? Let me make sure the mic is on. Okay, we're good to go. Hey, what's good with y'all? This is the Walker Bar for Black Authentic Truth, man. As always, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for supporting me. This is going to be a quick little live. I want to go live before I actually do class on Hollywood Hebrew Israelites and talk about some things that I've been wanting to talk to the last few days. And I'm going to get right into it. All right. So now, we know the whole fiasco with Shador Sanders. He got drafted. They said that they feel like the owners was colluding against the Sanders family and trying to humble them and trying to give them, send them a message and send them a lesson. And the lesson was you was not bigger than the program. Now he got drafted or whatever, but you had a lot of haters. You had a lot of people hating on the Sanders family, and you had a prank call. You had somebody that called Sanders acting like they were, about to choose him, about to pick him and draft him, when really it was just a son of a coach from the Atlanta Falcons. Excuse me, y'all. So now the NFL has handed down a a fine for this defensive coordinator and and the Atlanta Hawks, $350,000 worth of fines. You know what I mean? And as people were saying, he should be humble. That's what he get. Take a slice of that humble pie. Well, it seems as though for all of the haters, all of the Karenators, that the NFL didn't agree with you. The NFL did not agree with you and how you felt like Deion Sanders and his son needed to be humble. And that prank call was legendary. Well, they handed down a legendary fine, $350,000 to $250,000 to the Atlanta Hawks, and $100,000 to the defensive coordinator who left his computer open, and his son somehow got the Sanders phone number and made that prank call. Now, let's be real. In the real world, when you have a job and you have sensitive information, and somehow that sensitive information gets leaked, and you're not supposed to be allowing anybody to get into your computer. Like my computer at work, we have different levels of security where it's impossible for somebody to be able to get sensitive information of the company. But if that was to happen in a lot of these companies, they would let you go. Hey, good evening to you, Alex Corbin in Atlanta. Good evening to you. If you had sensitive information on your computer, you had some job where you hold information that is sensitive and somehow it gets out and somebody else gets it that is not a part of the company, usually you're going to be fired. Usually you're going to be let go. The NFL is not firing the defensive coach, but they are fining him, and it just it's just goes to the people who said that this prank was funny. It was it was legendary. These kids, and let's just say Shador Sanders, he doesn't need money. He grew up into a pretty good life with his father being Deion Sanders. So money is not an issue. He just loves the game. But think about this. A lot of other young black males, they work their whole life to get to that point and to wait on that call to see whether or not they're going to get on a team, which in turn will change, their lives and their families' lives. And to get a prank call at that time, that's real bad taste. That's real bad taste. There's really nothing funny about it, and then the severity of it is that regular people don't want their phone number leaked. We don't want nobody to, be able to prank call us. I remember when we was growing up, a lot of times people would just dial a random number and prank call somebody. But this is a NFL employee, Atlanta Falcons employee that carries sensitive information. So nobody should be privy to that information. Yes, Alex Corbin, I agree. It was a childish prank call, and this is coming from a 21-year-old. The prank call is not, it's not a child. You know what I mean? They were saying the young man and boy, but no, this is a grown man. You 21, you are considered an adult. At least we know that we know that you can make adult decisions. Decisions. And so, it's really no excuse for it. But the NFL showed that all the people that were saying that it was nothing wrong with it and it was funny and that it was legendary, well, the NFL didn't agree with you. The NFL handed down a fine. They didn't agree that it was funny and it was heavy and it was a slice of humble pie. They didn't agree with that. And so now that boy, that young man, or that man, him and his father are going to have to eat some humble pie. The Atlanta Falcons is going to have to eat some humble pie. $250,000 worth and $100,000 worth to that particular family of the defensive coach. So yeah, that was really legendary. You know what I mean? There's some more important things I want to talk about is, well, first let me pull this video. Let me get this video real quick. And then we'll get into the Twins. Like I said, this is going to be a short live, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Let's see here.
Don't confuse religion with God. That's a big mistake people make.
Yeah.
Religion is an institution created by man to serve the needs of men. When the Arabs invaded North Africa and conquered our northern territory, they had no mandate from God to do that. When the Europeans took Christianity and used it to justify the transatlantic slave trade, they had no mandate from God to do that. So we have to recognize religion is an institution that is separate from the Almighty Creator. Religion purports to be about helping you build a relationship with the Almighty Creator, but there's no greater mistake you can ever make than to confuse a man-made institution with the Almighty God.
Now, this is Umar Johnson. I'm sure everybody knows who Umar Johnson is. What he's saying is totally correct. And that is the dilemma when I'm on the streets teaching as a Hebrew Israelite, and just the understanding that we have as far as what the Bible is and what religion is, and how the religion of Christianity is separate from the scriptures. And a lot of people don't know how to separate the two. And I understand why. I understand that, there's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of lack of knowledge when it comes to understanding that religions are man-made. And he made some good examples like Islam, of course, Christianity being the biggest. And religions they're man-made. They serve a purpose for men. They are teachings or doctrines that people have used, and the doctrine that Black people in general, Black Christians in general have followed, it has been to our detriment. It is that religious institution of Christianity has told us that we should, love everybody and we should forgive our oppressors. And if we get knocked upside the head, that we should just, forgive the person that just knocked us upside the head. A case in point is the shooting in with Dylan Roof when he went into that church and he unalived those Black people. You can check this on your own, that when they had the press conference, it might have been exactly the same day that day that it happened, with some of the families of the victims. I remember specifically there was someone that said that they forgave Dylan Roof that same day. And we're talking about hours after, this has happened, whereas the bodies of their loved ones ain't even cold yet, and they forgive them. And that's the institution of Christianity. And so people don't know how to separate the religion, which is false, which is not like people don't even know. Like when you actually start to actually read the Bible, you realize that the things that they do in church are not actually in the Bible. Like the way people act, behave, the things that they hold dear. For instance, Christians celebrate Christmas. Christians, celebrate all of the pagan holidays, which the Bible is against. So you have to understand that Christianity is a religion, man-made. The word, I think the root word is religio, which means to bind. And all of these, all of these religions do the same thing. All of these religions, they basically are there to control people. That's it, and that's all. You know what I mean? And people are happy with that. People are okay with, living in that box and never thinking outside the side of the box. So what Umar is saying is, I agree with. Now I don't agree with being a Pan-African and, it's this global blackness thing, because just history has told us that that's not how other black groups feel about Black Americans. But what he's saying right here is on point, and people should understand that there is a difference from, following the Creator compared to following a religion that is man-made. All right. Now, I want to talk about these twins. Some new information has came up about the twins. The two twins that ended up, found dead on a mountain, miles away in an area where they were not supposed to be. They were supposed to be getting on the airplane, going to Boston, and they didn't make it. Their bodies were found the next day on Bell Mountain. Let me get this article, this news video.
From Gwinnett County, family says they have seen new surveillance video that changes everything.
So the video shows 19-year-old Khaydir and Nazir Lewis alive just hours before their bodies were found. The GBI says a hiker discovered the twins at the top of Bell Mountain in Hiawassee, nearly 90 miles from their Lawrenceville home. 11
Alive's Cody Alcorn has been following this case very closely. He's joining us now live from the Lawrenceville gas station, where a surveillance camera captured some of the brothers' final moments. Cody?
Jennifer and Ron, the GBI originally came out believing this was a murder-suicide, but the family has never believed that. It's now been 52 days since the twins were found. And tonight, this video capturing the twins here behind me is fueling even more questions for this family.
Nothing adds up. Nothing makes sense. I'm even more clueless now.
Samira Bronner and her twin sister Sabria are aunts to Khaydir and Nazir Lewis. They say the brothers appear in surveillance video at this Shell gas station in Lawrenceville on Friday night, March 7th.
At night at 10:30 p.m.
The station sits on Hurricane Shoals Road near Collins Road, just 9 minutes from the family's home.
They pretty much walked inside the gas station, walked out.
Nothing in the video appeared to stand out.
Drinking water, eating snacks, and dressed how they would normally dress.
But 12 hours later, their bodies are found on Bell Mountain, shot. The mountain is nearly 90 miles away.
They were seen here alive at 10. So how did they end up in the mountain?
The family says the twins weren't hikers.
It's super dark out there. They're not familiar with the roads out there.
And they shouldn't have been in Georgia. The brothers had a flight booked to Boston early that same morning.
But the Uber driver got them there late, so they missed their flight.
Their plane tickets were still in their wallets. What was meant to be a quick trip to visit friends ended with a deadly detour to a remote mountaintop.
I want to know exactly what happened to them. One thing I know for sure, that they did not do nothing to themselves.
The GBI confirming tonight the twins' vehicle was found inside the gates at Bell Mountain. As we've previously reported, those gates are locked at dusk and not reopened, which means they were locked until 8 a.m. and again The twins were seen here at 10:30 the night before, and their bodies were found at 11 a.m. the next day.
Man, somebody murdered those brothers. That point right there at the end should tell you all you need to know. They closed the park at dusk. These brothers were seen on surveillance cameras at 10 at night. They locked the park up at dusk. At sundown, that's when they locked the park up every day. Somebody that has something to do with that park, has access to that park, did this. Now, I basically went over the area, and let me just say, I was in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and I wanted to actually go to Bell Mountain, but the time constraints that I had, and the transportation thing, it was too far away, and so I didn't end up going. But I did want to go and just see the actual park. There is videos where people are at the park. It has a history. It's a place where people go to actually hike and climb mountains, but also it is a place where when you first come up, there is a lot of graffiti. And some of that graffiti is Confederate graffiti and racist graffiti. And we're talking about the county of Hiwassee, which has a sundown, what's the word? It's sundown town. The area is, notoriously known for that type of activity where these young twins were found. And so this new information just shows you that, you dealing with the devil. You dealing with people that still look at Black people as though we're in the 1920s. And you dealing with people that run these counties, and their family members and all of that is part of the police department and part of the court, work at the courthouse, and they try to cover up things. You know what I mean? But Lord willing, I hope that this the truth comes out. But we know that this is not what happened. It was not no murder suicide. The family has never ever accepted that story from the get-go. They was like, nah, this didn't happen. This did not happen. You know what I mean? It's very unfortunate, but I'm glad that more details are starting to come out. This definitely shows that there's some foul play. These brothers was supposed to be catching a plane, and from what I understand, like she said, their Uber driver got there late, so they didn't make their flight. They were supposed to be going to Boston, I think, for one day and then come back. They didn't make their flight, but it just makes no sense that there's somewhere where they never ever went when they was alive. And how she said nobody goes there. It's dark. And the videos that I've seen, it is a wooded area, and you have a one-way street that leads you up the mountain to, the area of the park. And you can just imagine what it looked like at night. It's definitely some foul play. And Black people, we got to stop being naive and stop thinking that these things no longer happen, because they do. These brothers definitely were murdered. So with that, this is that's the live that I want to drop. I'm about to do class, so I'm gonna go into a lot of things on Hollywood Israelites. If you want to see me there, go into some biblical history, go into talk about some things out of the book called They Were Her Property, and just show you that the white woman could be just as ruthless as the white man in slavery. What else? Yeah, probably hit some of these stories again. So thank y'all for watching. I'll be back Sunday. And with that, this is Black Authentic Truth. Peace, y'all.